X-Art student here. Today I'm going to work with some rocks. When I go on walks or hikes or travel, I love to collect shiny or cool looking rocks. It's a way that I have a memory of the place and, I don't know, something about my magpie brain I need to collect it. So here I'm actually putting all of my rocks in my tumbler, and I left it in there for about 2 weeks to kind of round out the edges of these pieces. A lot of the rocks are multiple types of minerals, so they either broke down differently, rounded differently, or had different hardness. So my goal for today is to try to carve some rocks. I didn't really have much of an idea besides maybe making a skull, obviously, but I just wanted to try it. I've seen it online, and I already tried wood carving, so might as well since I have the tools for it. I researched online a few different videos, and it seems like all you need is some water, a Dremel, and a rock. In my research, it showed that using water was helpful to kind of lubricate the rock as well as the tool, but make sure you turn off the tool when you try to lubricate it because then you'll get water everywhere like I just did. It's supposed to reduce the dust that comes off of the rock and keep it cool because apparently the rock heats up, which is pretty insane. So with my first rock piece, I'm using a diamond tipped, sander for my Dremel. And I'm trying to just get any smooth shape. I'm learning how to use the tool and just seeing what I could do with it. And I learned that if I used the sander in a certain way or a certain angle, it would cut off more pieces or make things flat. I learned how to eventually round things, which was pretty interesting, and I was slowly getting the shape that I wanted. I think in the future I would need different diamond tipped nibs, or whatever they're called, for the Dremel, because the ones that I had weren't really meant for this. I'm really happy I'm trying this 3D sculpture type of work. I was very afraid of doing it in the past because I didn't really know how or if I had the right tools, but I'm glad I jumped into it. I think doing the wood carving definitely helped, but as you can see, I'm obviously still learning. Here I'm actually shaping the nose and trying to really round out the edges because the rock actually wasn't really a perfect circular shape. In the future I'd probably get more of that because if you look at the back of the skull, it's actually very bumpy, but I kind of liked it so it had that crystal look. So I find when it comes to carving, whether it's wood or stone, you need to take a lot of time to sand out the pieces that you don't want to get that correct shape. And as you can see, I don't know if I was doing it wrong or not, but I kept getting those sparks. Maybe I just needed to keep things lubricated, or because it was a mixed stone, it had different materials in it that caused it to spark. Or maybe I'm just such a beginner that I have no idea what I'm talking about. Probably that option. I like trying new things, trying to carve out the shapes that I want, and it's slowly looking like what I actually envisioned. To get a better idea of how I could carve this better, I actually took out one of my stone skulls that I had bought in the past, and I used it as a reference. It let me know that I needed to make the nose shorter because it's just the bone, and really work on that top part of the head. Here I'm adding the teeth using the little sander bit. Most of the time I went over the same spots to make sure that each little piece was defined. Now it's time for the next rock. This rock was obviously made with different minerals in it. It was a little bit tougher to use, and the shape was obviously very different. I decided to try creating a skull that was kind of popping out of this crystal shape, and I thought it would be kind of fun. Here I'm smoothing out the edges to make sure you get that rounded edge, and I'm following my little marks that I made with my Sharpie to use as a guide to make sure that I'm cutting the right areas and that things kind of look even. The mouth area was very bumpy, so I really had to cut into it and make sure that it was smoothed out and really define it because it wasn't such a perfect surface to work with. Here's where I wish I had my diamond tip tools, because I tried doing the little details with the eyes with this particular sanding piece and it was just too big. So in the future I definitely want to go to Home Depot or something and get specific tiny detail tools so then I can really work this piece. For some reason this nose was so much more difficult to work on than the other one. Maybe because this was such a flatter piece and it didn't have as much of a pop out, I guess, long face compared to this one. It was closer to the rock shape, but I just had a lot of trouble defining this. I guess I was also just slightly annoyed and concerned because I was so good at my first piece and I was really hoping my second and third piece would turn out excellent because I was learning the tool, but I was using different rock materials and I'm definitely not an expert, so I think I just need to keep practicing and reminding myself that it's okay that not everything turns out perfect. With this last piece, I was just trying to see if I could smooth out the edges and make it more pointy and crystal looking-esque, kind of like one of the crystal towers, or I was kind of inspired by a coffin piece that I had. I was not making a coffin piece, I just wanted to see if I could make it look cool and kind of pointy and smooth. And that was my only goal. And now it's actually time for those close-up shots.
I'll stay with you. Spring storms pass, and I'll share with you songs, sunlight night. No autumn leaf, cascades alone.
Thank you so much for watching. We're at the end of the video. If you liked my other things, please check out my website and especially my Etsy. I would love for you to take a look. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of the things. Please leave a comment or message or any of those things. I love hearing from you guys and I can't wait to see you next week. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.